And welcome back, everybody. New this morning, the story of a family's fight for survival. Orlando police officer Kevin Valencia shot in the head by a domestic violence suspect 2 years ago. His wife, Meghan Valencia, standing by his side through all of the challenges. Fox 35's Amy Kaufeldt sat down with her and joins us now in studio with this really powerful conversation. Amy, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. It was June of 2018 when Officer Kevin Valencia was outside an Orlando apartment while a gunman held 4 children hostage inside. When Valencia tried to kick in the door, the suspect, Gary Wayne Lindsay, opened fire. Not only was Valencia hit, the suspect ended up killing the children and himself. And this morning, Valencia's wife, Meghan, tells me how he's doing 1 week after medically retiring from the police force.
Last week, a milestone. We learned Kevin Valencia is no longer in a coma. His wife, Meghan, says his condition is what is called emerged. When he's awake, it's only for a short time, so having moments to connect are rare. On a recent hospital visit, Meghan said she was feeling completely overwhelmed. She laid next to Kevin, put her head on his chest, and started sobbing.
And he, on his own accord, just reached up and started rubbing my head and playing with my hair the way that he used to.
And then he leaned forward and kissed her head.
It was just everything that I needed in that moment. You know, it's just that moment where I was kind of like, he's still in there.
Kevin and Meghan have been sweethearts since childhood.
How did you guys meet?
Kevin and I met when we were 12.
12? So you've known each other since you were in middle school?
Kevin was my first boyfriend.
It was practically love at first sight. The two dated on and off before getting married at age 21. Meghan remembers the first time they met.
I remember him just because I met him and he was shaking like a leaf because he said I was the most beautiful girl he'd ever met.
Fast forward to the summer of 2018. It was the middle of the night when Meghan got a knock on the door. Her 2 sons, 5-year-old Caleb and 6-month-old Colton, were sound asleep. Meghan was about to learn that Kevin had been shot in the head. Before leaving the house, she told the officer who stayed behind where to find the baby bottles.
He grabbed me and was like, Meghan, you need to leave. I got this. And I just remember walking out and Kevin's corporal, I said, his name is Sean, and I was like, Sean, is he alive?
The bullet did major damage. Kevin would soon be moved to a specialty hospital in Atlanta for people with brain injuries.
It went in on his right side and then it got lodged in the skull. So it actually had this kind of downward almost trajectory in his brain. And you have to think about the impact of a bullet. It's not just, this really small fine line. It's an explosion of sorts. The simple fact that Kevin even survived that type of impact is a miracle in and of itself.
He was in Atlanta for 8 long months, Meghan constantly flying back and forth. One of her greatest challenges, how to let the boys know Daddy is still here without giving them false hope about his recovery.
Colton has no idea, who Kevin is and the role that he played, and Caleb knows exactly what he lost. And I don't know which is better, which is worse.
Kevin is now in a rehabilitation facility in Mount Dora where they see him often.
Rehab is honestly the best place for somebody, in these instances, because the level of care is just, you're constantly with somebody, you're constantly getting therapy, you're constantly working on different things, to help you progress.
Doctors have told Meghan that recovering from a traumatic brain injury like this is rare. She is grounded in that reality, but also in faith.
In my faith, I've accepted that God sometimes says yes and he sometimes says no. And I've accepted that and I'm made my peace with that, but I'm still hopeful of those things.
She is wise beyond her 27 years.
No matter what, I'm gonna be okay, and this is my temporary home, You know, I know where I'm gonna end up, and I know that Kevin will be the old Kevin saying ridiculous jokes and acting like a fool. And I'll get to see that one day, whether it be here or in heaven, and I'm totally okay with that.
Hard for me to even watch that story because she's such an amazing person. Meghan says she's never felt alone or abandoned through this process. She says she's grateful for the outpouring from the community, saying her faith and her family and a whole lot of therapy have helped to pull her through.